IVM.
Hi, everybody. On behalf of the team at IVM Podcast, I have a request for you. We'd really appreciate it if you could go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and fill out our survey over there. It's going to take a few minutes to do, but it gives us some really interesting information that we can take to advertisers and brands about who's listening to the network. If you're comfortable giving us your email address, while you're filling out the survey, we'll enter you into a random drawing where we'll be sending out a bunch of IVM swag to some of our listeners. Last year we sent out coffee mugs, and this year we're hoping to send out much cooler stuff. That's ivmpodcast.com/survey. We really appreciate your help.
Women can't drive is a cliche we've all heard before. But have you ever wondered that the racetrack doesn't judge the driver by their gender, and she is living proof? She is an extraordinary woman who made the choice to move beyond cliché to create a life where she felt fully alive. She accelerated her way through the stigmas on gender, ageism, and limited belief systems as she held the steering wheel of her life and her dreams at the age of 43. Balancing motherhood with pit stops on weekends for family, she drives away without any brakes on possibilities. She rallies on the racetrack, speeding her way to create a new victory for herself, beating all stereotypes. Please welcome the guest for our show, an Indian rally driver, motorsports promoter, and social rights supporter, Dr. Bani Yadav. Hello, Dr. Bani. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. I'm good, and it's such a pleasure to be here and to interact with you and to be on this platform and to be able to talk to so many people. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Lovely. The pleasure is all mine. And just to welcome you and the rest of the listeners to this show, this is your host in those style, and welcome to Beyond Cliché. This is a show where we bring in people that have actually broken gender stereotypes. And talking about gender stereotypes, the one that is predominant in your face for me, and I've actually picked up a campaign around it, is I'm actually asking a diaper company, the leading diaper company in the world, to change their branding and packaging. I think we need to have more father representation on diaper packaging. And if you believe in this cause and you want the father's image on the diaper wrapper as well, please go to my petition on change.org, www.change.org/Papa Pampers too. Yeah, papas actually do pampers, so why not have them on the diaper wrapper? And there are a lot of papas that are actually supportive of the mothers that want to fulfill dreams, and we have one such example with us in the studio. We have Dr. Bani Yadav, and she's always spoken about how supportive her family and her husband has been through the journey. We're going to talk about her journey in detail, but just to formally introduce Dr. Bani Yadav, it is my pleasure and honor to share with the listeners today that we have the only woman in India who's won most of the major cross-country rally titles in the women's category held in India. She's the first woman to come an overall second in the IRC, which is Rally the North 2016. The first woman to receive the FMSCI Outstanding Woman in Motorsports Award for rallying for the year 2016. The first Indian woman to drive a Formula 4 car on the Yas Marina track in Abu Dhabi. She was awarded the Best Sportsperson Award for 2017 by Haryana State Government on the 69th Republic Day of India. Also awarded the Woman Achiever Award by IWN. Well, there's a long list. I think we'll spend an hour just talking about her awards, so I'm going to stop there and formally welcome the guest in the studio. Dr. Bani Yadav, tell us more about your journey. I know it started when you were 13, and you said that I want to be a rally driver. Your father was a mechanical engineer, and you also went to France to watch a Formula 1 race. And then you said, Mujhe ye karna hai. This is what I want to do. And that's where it started, right? So tell us about your first exposure to driving at the age of 13. Where did it all start?
Thank you so much for having me here and talking about my journey. Yes, it's definitely beyond cliche. And what I would like to say here is that, yes, it was a childhood dream.
Mm-hmm.
at the age of 13, which I saw, and I challenged my father that I want to be a rally racer,
Mm-hmm.
because I grew up seeing him drive. He's a very good driver even now at the age of 80.
Wow. Okay.
And for me, he was my icon, that
Mm-hmm.
I need to drive as fast as he can and also
Mm-hmm.
beat him on it. So when we traveled and we got to see the Grand Prix at that time,
Mm-hmm.
that is what set me off, and it was like a dream which I wanted to fulfill for myself. But
Mm-hmm.
like all
Do you
parents,
actually like recall the experience you had at the Grand Prix? This 13-year-old Bani is sitting there. What was that experience like for you?
so let me tell you, for a 13-year-old to be witnessing the Grand Prix, it was all excitement. It was a totally outwardly experience, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like in awe of it.
Mm-hmm.
And all the drivers, I saw them, and it was like a big show for me. It was a big adrenaline rush for me, and it
Mm-hmm.
was something which I wanted to experience on my own. And
Mm-hmm.
I just had my mind glued to it. There was
Mm-hmm.
nothing more which I wanted to do at that particular time. That was the only thing which I wanted to
Wow.
do. And that's when I told my dad that I want to be a rally racer when we came back.
Right.
And I told my dad, and he just laughed it off, saying, uh, girls don't do it. And in India, there is nothing such as rally racing. And
Mm-hmm.
practically in India at that point of time, there
Mm-hmm.
was nothing as rally racing. It was more often in fancy stage, and very
Mm-hmm.
few elite people used to pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think his mindset was that she'll get over it. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
13-year-old girl,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll wear it off, and we don't have to bother about it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's where I was stuck, and it stayed with me throughout. And that challenge, which I told my dad, that I want to be a rally racer and I want to be better than you, just stayed with me. And I think over the years, it just grew stronger and stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and here I am, racing, rallying away to glory.
And telling me your story. Well, that's quite a powerful story, you know, a 13-year-old standing at the Grand saying, "Mujhe ek din wo karna hai aur main karungi." So,
Absolutely.
with your father feeling that this is going to wear off, to you actually wearing the helmet at the age of 34, how did that happen? And from what I know is that you come from a very conservative, traditional, middle class background, and you also had in-laws that were very conservative in their own space. In fact, there was also parda system up to a certain point. From the parda to the helmet, how did that happen?
Yes, I'm from a typically middle class family, married into a very orthodox middle class family. And
Hmm.
uh, as they say, when you get married, your dreams need to be closed
Yeah.
and you stop living your dreams. But for this, I would just say a big thank you to my husband, because he was
Mm-hmm.
always standing strong next to me, saying
Mm-hmm.
that whatever you want to achieve in life, I will always be there to help you out. And I think without his support, I would never have been able to come to the tracks or even drive.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guiding light for me. He is,
Mm-hmm.
even today, the force behind me. And
Mm-hmm.
I would just simply say I owe it all to him. Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
journey has been very tough.
Mm-hmm.
Following a parda system, I still do follow when I go to my extended family who stay in the villages.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not let down my guards there, because you have to balance the traditional with the new generation and your thought processes. So I think I have managed to balance everything,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I've been able to succeed in what I wanted to do. And now my extended family, my in-laws, they are all very happy and they all support me also in this. So I would say that's a major change of
Mm-hmm.
attitude, change of thinking which has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I would again say it's thanks to my husband for it.
Mm. So the fuel is the husband, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So, I just want to sort of understand. because there's just so much to explore here, right? So we're talking about a woman from an Orthodox family who also at a certain age, and there is a stereotype even around age, right? There's so much of facade around you need to discover your passion and purpose and follow it when you're young. And at this powerful, you're very powerful to have picked this up at this age, saying, I'm going to do it. So what was that moment where you said, अब नहीं, अब मुझे ये करना है, this is what I want to do? And what happened? What kind of stereotypes did you have to face?
The biggest stereotype in my family, family where I'm married, is that women are supposed to be just homemakers. And since we follow the Parda system, we are not supposed to go out. We're not supposed to speak to the male gentry. We are not supposed to go for any parties, marriages. We just, it's more of a demarcation that a male will do these things and a female will do these things.
So the roles are very, very clear.
Very well defined. So to break that, it was, I would definitely say, a long period of nearly 15 years, which took me to break that chain. And now, yes, the people have understood in the family that the women can be equal partners. Though I would not say the change is complete, but yes, the change is happening. Slowly it is happening. For me, the most defining moment was when my elder son, who was young, and I needed to do a job to make the ends meet. I needed to drop him at a creche. And the creche was far away, and my husband couldn't drop him there because he used to leave early. So the only option left was that I have a car with myself. And so it took a lot of coaxing for my husband to actually talk to his parents and say, please allow us to take a car, because that is the only way that she can work, and we can manage our son also. Finally we got the approval, and the day I got the car, I would say that was the changing moment for me. I was behind
it was like
the wheel.
it was getting your long lost lover back.
Absolutely. What better than that? And once I was behind the wheel, then there was no stopping me. And it just kept building up in me that now I have to get into the racing circuit soon. Yes, but my journey was a long wait of 30 years. I dreamt it at the age of 13. I got to get into racing at the age of 43, and now I'm 49. So I would just say I've not looked back once I got onto the racetracks. God has been kind, and I've been able to live my dreams.
So we've spoken a lot about the stereotypes outside of the racetrack, right? And let's just talk a little bit about what's happening inside the racetrack. And when I mean inside, I'm really talking about inside of you, and also, inside the racetrack. What are some of the stereotypes? So the cliche obviously is that women can't drive. Ab ye mujhe nahi pata ye kahan se aata hai, but this is a typical stereotype. And for a woman to actually be on a racetrack, what are some of the cliches there?
It is definitely right thing which you were saying, that women can't drive. That's the stereotype which the Indian mindset is. And even on the racetracks, they believe the same. So
really?
the male
even
counterparts,
on a professional racetrack, that's what it's believed.
Absolutely. So the male counterparts do not give you weightage. They do not believe that you can be a good driver. They have a lot of ifs and buts in mind, and to accept you as a good driver, there's a lot of male ego hurting which happens. So they are not ready to accept that you can beat them on the tracks. And that in itself is a huge challenge, because they will talk about you, they will pass remarks, they will not help you, which ordinarily they would help any other male driver. So if you are stuck, or if you want to find out something new, or you want to just get some knowledge, there is nothing which is coming easy to you. You really have to find your way around. So it has taken me a lot of years to create my niche, and people have now accepted me. But still, I would say it is not full acceptance. I still have to fight on the tracks. And every time when I'm on the track, nothing else matters to me except that finish line. I just cut myself off from the people who are there around, my competitors. so that I can just concentrate, because that is the most important thing which I am there for. There are no friendships, there are no friends, and the only thing is your car and you and that finish line.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, like I mentioned in my introduction, the racetrack does not identify the gender of the driver. Similarly, toys don't. And, I kind of believe that this entire women can't drive and cars are for boys comes from childhood. Every time there's a male child born, we're sort of looking at those kind of gifts. You walk into a toy shop in the boys section, you will see a whole lot of cars, and this has predominantly been the way we are conditioning kids, right? And also when you're driving, there's a sense of maybe an adrenaline rush. There's a sense of I'm into full action, and and that's the masculine energy. That's how we define masculine energy, and that's why probably there's just so much association there. But I just want to know the psyche of a woman driver. Is that in any way different from a male driver? Do you have the same kind of sense of competition, adrenaline rush, the same energy driving you, or is that different? What's the psyche of a male driver versus a female driver?
So, what I would say is, for a female driver, the pressure is 10 times more than what a male driver would have.
And why is that? Why
For
is
the
that?
simple reason, the statement which you just made, women can't drive, that is the mindset which most of the male drivers have, or typically Indian society has, that a female driver is no good. So for you to prove yourself on the tracks becomes 10 times more difficult than for a male driver. And if you make a mistake, you are pinpointed many folds more than what a male
Ah,
driver would. You
right,
know, for
right.
a male driver, if he's made a mistake, they would just overlook and say, oh, he must have just missed it. But when
Mm,
you do it, they will
mm,
come, laugh at you, and they will tell you 10 things which you might not have done at all as
mm,
a fault that you have done it. Right?
mm,
So for you to prove yourself on the track is definitely more difficult. Yes,
mm,
but in terms what I have running in my head, for me, it is that I need to complete that race. I need to do it well. I need to come onto the finish line as fast as possible. For
mm,
me, podium is not what I'm looking at. I'm looking
mm,
to complete that race as fast, give it my best shot.
mm,
And
mm.
yes, the sensitivity of the race, or how charged I am, is as equal to what a male driver would perceive.
Hmm. But in a typical Indian context, and I'm really talking about balancing family life and motherhood and several roles that women play, right? For a man, it's really okay. I get onto the race with my race suit, my helmet, and off I go, right? For a woman, before she actually packs her stuff even into the car to get to the racetrack, she has a race to finish at home. So,
Absolutely.
so how has that journey been for you? Balancing a
Yes,
lot, and
it
and
is.
you probably got into this career when your kids were maybe graduating, they were in their teens. How was that journey for you as a mother, balancing all of it?
Yes, it is definitely a bigger challenge for a woman, a mother, a daughter-in-law, a daughter. You are all packed into one, and then you have your own dreams. So
Yeah.
to fulfill everybody's needs, it definitely is a big balancing game. Uh,
Hmm.
Thankfully, my husband, my children have been very supportive, and they have learned to manage on their own also. Yes, I
Hmm.
got into racing when my children were already in their teens. My younger one had already passed his 10th.
Hmm.
So I would say I was a little more easier on my children in terms of not being around for them. My
Right.
husband took care of a lot of responsibilities so that I could go and race. So the support system in terms of my family was there,
Hmm.
and that made it much easier. And
Hmm.
also, I must say that my corporate, where I work in my office, they've also been very supportive. They did give me time off, and
Hmm.
they were happy that I was doing something which was more individualistic and something which was out of the league. So that was
So you actually
definitely.
had a full-time job along with your
Yes,
racing passion.
yes. So
Wow,
I'm the
you're like
corporate world.
fighting. You're literally in so many races at the same time.
Correct. So balancing everything does become a little
Yeah,
difficult and challenging, and I don't think it is so easy for a woman to come onto the tracks. You have to take care of a lot of things before you actually get to leave
yeah,
the home for a race.
exactly.
And even while you are about to get into the tracks or on the race, there are 10 things which are running already on your mind, and you have to tackle all of them before you actually start that one race. So it is a multitasking, and I must also say that women are very good multitaskers.
Mm,
So that is also a strong point for the women, that they can do so many things together. And I think I've just been blessed that I have been able to manage. I have a great family who've been supportive. I've got a great company who've been very helpful, and they've taken care of giving me leaves, allowing me time off, and that's amazing.
beautiful. So if there's support, there's a lot more that can happen. And I think these are the people I should actually interview because these are the people that are breaking cliches and moving beyond cliches, especially your
Correct,
husband. We need
correct,
more role models like that. Well, talking
absolutely.
about, people that are breaking cliches and stereotypes, let's talk about the system. So when we look at the rally driving scenario, how has that changed for women? Is there more opportunity there? What's happening in the industry?
Yes. So earlier there were just a handful of us who were there, the women.
Mm, mm,
But now, yes, the Federation of Motorsports Clubs of India, that is the FMSCI, is definitely changing the scenario. They are promoting women drivers big time, and also I must say that our sports minister, Mr. Kiran Rijiju, the
mm,
Honorable Minister, has given a new life to motorsports by recognizing it in one of the mainstream sports, and also giving an opportunity to motorsports drivers to be able to apply for government jobs. So that's a
mm,
big recognition for us,
mm,
and it is also bringing the motorsports forward, that it
mhm,
can be a career option. Till now, it's not been a career option for any one of us. It has
mm,
just been a hobby, a passion, which we've all been
mhm,
following. And that makes a huge change for it. And with the international FIA also
mm.
promoting women in motorsports, I think the scenario will take a good turn and change for the better for the women.
Yeah.
Earlier there were just handful. Now you can actually, you will have to sit and count. Yes, there would be now roughly about 100 women in
Mm,
motorsports in various formats. So
mm,
that's a big development in the right way.
mm. So yeah, the journey has started, but we're yet to see Michael Schumacher, woman, right? There's still a long journey ahead internationally for us. I also wanted to understand a little bit about the women in motorsports space, or rather the car rallying space. Are there a lot of women your age? Because I also wanted to sort of talk a little bit about how was it for you to wake up at 43 and say, I'm going to do this, and your journey. Did you have people your age, or was that difficult for you?
So I would just say I am racing with people who are practically half my age.
Mm,
Even the women who are there, some are young, who would be like from the age group of 18 to 25. There are a few who would be in the age bracket of 35 to 40. But I
mm,
think I'm one of the oldest women in the rally circuit right now, racing circuit. And for me, it is also a big high, because when you are racing with people who are practically half your age,
mm,
then uh, it just goes to show that you still have so much left in you to prove
mm,
to the world that
mm.
age is just a number. And
Yeah.
when you are beating them on the tracks, then it's a great feeling, because then you know that you are doing the right thing. And it's just that you entered the sports late. If I had entered the sport much earlier in my younger
Right.
days, I'm sure I would have been able to do much more than what I have been able to do now. So time is not on my side, age is not on my side, but that
Mm.
doesn't stop me.
But your
And
spirit is.
The spirit is. And as long as my body is with me, in terms of all my reflexes and my eyesight, I think I'll keep racing.
And
So,
I'm
yes,
and I
it's.
wish that you keep racing. We want to see you on the racetrack more and more and more. So
Thank you so much.
this has been such an inspirational conversation in so many ways. We're talking about a woman that had a dream at the age of 13, and she decided, no matter what, I'm going to do this. And there is a fuel. I hope he was here, to talk to us about how he's really moved beyond this whole cliche. Because one of the things, Dr. Bani, is that we end up as women, we end up feeling very guilty at times for not being able to do a lot on the family side. And we feel that pressure. And if we have a companion who's able to support us through it, the journey of the racetrack can be very beautiful. So
Absolutely.
you've actually told us that.
Yeah.
And you've also proven to us that, yes, women can drive for sure.
Definitely, and it is a proven fact. Statistically, women are better drivers. They are more careful drivers than
Mm-hmm.
men. It's just that we underestimate the women, that they are not good drivers, and because the mindset has been that we refuse to move out of that particular thought process. But it's very heartening to see that we have a lot of women now on the roads who are driving their cars, their scooties, their bikes, and I definitely see women getting more empowered by this.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I've been thinking of starting a petition with one of the car companies, asking them, why don't we have women car ambassadors? You look at all the car brands, you'll usually have a male car ambassador. So I think
True.
that needs to change. The society needs to be more inclusive for women drivers, because like you said, statistically it is proven that women are better drivers. If we talk about multitasking, dude, driving a car is quite a multitasking job.
Correct.
And that was my doorbell. So we're anyway ending this. So I'll just repeat that. So driving a car can be actually a multitasking job, right? So women are definitely better drivers, and you're proof that they are. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio, Dr. Bani Yadav, and may you claim many more victories and smash many more stereotypes and move beyond cliche.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope the listeners enjoy our conversation.
I'm
And
sure
I
they
see
will.
more women coming in onto the racing tracks and enjoying the races.
Yes, they will. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
for the listeners who've enjoyed this show, please come back next Thursday with another guest on Beyond Cliché. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Ta-da.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. One more reminder, people, please go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and help us out. It will take you a couple of minutes to fill out this survey, but it really is very, very helpful for us. For the people who do fill out the survey and are willing to drop us their email address, we're going to do a special drawing and send out some IVM swag to everybody. So please do help us out with that. But what a week it's been on the network. There's so many things to talk to you all about. Let me run through some of the biggest highlights really, really quickly, right? So Sanjay Jha was on Cyrus Says. What an incredible conversation. I mean, I can't say enough about it. Check that out. We had Hansal Mehta on Marukinay's Note talking about 1992 Scam. Amazing stuff. We had Vishal Gondal talking to Nikhil Advani about his career in film. On Storytellers and Storysellers, Vineet spoke to Gunjan Arya, the CEO of OML, and Samiksha Unyal from Bacardi about the history of NH7, the Weekender Festival. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav had an amazing episode about the Bushmen of Kalahari. Begin the Journey, Ashish Vidyarthi talks about career choices. On Naan Curry, they talk about cake. What a fun show that was. And on This Round is on Me, we had Dr. Sanjay Arora talking to Gauri about Suburban Diagnostics and Company and what he sees as the future of healthcare in India. And for our Tamil speakers, if you haven't been checking out Sivakami and Sabatam, why haven't you? Please do go check that out. Kavita's doing an amazing job telling that story. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Hey, this is Shudaditya.
And I'm Amit Doshi.
And we host Shunya One.
It's a really fun podcast where we talk to some of the best entrepreneurs in the country.
Yes, talking about everything from their startup challenges to what they're building and all the future of technology right here.
So catch us on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you listen to your podcast from.
Do you wish you were smarter? Well, so do we. But the next best thing?
We could make you sound smarter.
And to help you with this endeavor, we are Simplified, a podcast that attempts to break down the complex world around you with a little knowledge, a lot of poor jokes, and a ton of random trivia.
Episodes out every Monday.
On the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
See ya!